King Charles has been across to Canada to have a sit down with Mark Carney, the globalist, and the King took that opportunity to have a little dig at Donald Trump. So here's that little clip. He kind of gets it in and he has a look around there as if to say, did everybody get that?
As the anthem reminds us, the true North is indeed strong and free.
As a younger person, I was quite derogatory about our royal family, but as I've grown older and the decades have passed for me, I've grown to see that the monarchy plays an important role in British society, not just from, the parliamentary system that we have, but from the essence of history, heritage, and everything that's good about the United Kingdom and Britain and England and all of that. And so over the decades, I've warmed to the Queen, and I have a huge amount of respect, had a huge amount of respect for the Queen, because she done her service. Now, the Queen is well known as being an especially stoic character. She was known that she would turn up for events, she would pay attention, she would learn people's names, and she was often seen telling off ambassadors and other people like that because they didn't remember the names of everyone that they were supposed to. The Queen was very fastidious in how she approached her role, and it's said that throughout the 70 years that the Queen was reigning, she fell asleep once. And that was during a lecture about physics or something like that. And I'll forgive her that. And you can imagine how many medals she's had to pin on people or put round people's necks, or how many times people have bowed to her and all of that. But she done all of that right till the very end. And you know what I love best about the Queen? She understood. The monarchy doesn't get involved in politics, because if the monarchy starts to get involved in politics, that's very dangerous, because then you start to isolate members of the public who start to say, that's not my king, that's not my queen. And this is really obvious, and I think the Queen understood this point extremely well. But unfortunately, King Charles does not understand that point, and he's frequently to be seen going around the World Economic Forum, giving speeches, throwing his oar in, celebrating various religious festivals, when all he has to do is do his duty. And I think this king has forgotten his place. And I think he's using this time that he is king in order to further his own political agenda. And this is just another example of it. The true North is indeed free. Is it? Is that Mark Carney there? Goldman Sachs banker. Is that him? That's Mark Carney, yeah? And this is the same Mark Carney that became the governor of the Bank of England, then decided, I'm actually going to be a politician now. So Canada's free, is it? And making statements about Donald Trump is especially irresponsible, and I'll tell you why it's irresponsible. It's fine for King Charles to go and make these claims, Donald Trump says Canada's the 51st state. Does anybody really believe that Donald Trump believed that he could buy Canada? Does anybody actually think that Donald Trump was serious? Or was perhaps Donald Trump serious when he sent his son to Iceland and he said, if my son goes over to Iceland and takes a selfie of himself there and brings it back, I tell you what I'll do, I'll consider buying. I mean, this is all hilarity. This is why people love Donald Trump. He says things, he does things. But did Donald Trump actually believe that he could buy Canada? Come on. King Charles here is making a point. He's telling everybody, I don't like Donald Trump. Fair enough, you don't like Donald Trump. But perhaps you might want to spare a thought for the rest of us, because the rest of us are reliant on something called trade and food and living expenses. And so in doing what he's just done there, King Charles, potentially he's made our relationship with the US president worse at a time when there's a US president in office that really likes the United Kingdom. He really likes it. His mother was from Scotland. He invests in property all the time. And it's really silly that you've got the Labour Party who's been continually talking Donald Trump down for years. Now you've got King Charles looking backwards and forwards. Did everyone get there that I put down Donald Trump? Yeah, I'm on the good guy side, yeah. Well, it's nice for King Charles because he's an extremely rich man. He doesn't have to worry about the price of chicken or beef or any of those other things that we may import from America. He doesn't have to worry about any of that, no. He's not too concerned if there's a large tariff put on Britain or the EU because Charles has got plenty of money. Obviously, that none of that's going to touch him. And this is why I dislike King Charles as much as I do. He pokes his nose into things, and in doing so, he could have put up the cost of living for people in this country. And that isn't on. And I don't think this king understands what his place in society is. And in case the king's listening, and funny, I don't think he's ever going to be listening to what I'll be saying, but this is what he needs to do. Stop talking about politics and continue hanging medals on people and just keep your mouth shut. Straightforward. That's the role of the monarchy. Or you risk the people turning against the monarchy, as a lot of people already have. The next royal after Charles is going to be important because whoever it is, if they continue in this vein, then I think the monarchy is going to be in trouble in this country. And that's not something that I want. I want the monarchy to continue. I think it's a great aspect to British society. I think it's a special thing we have. But if royals like Charles keep smashing the office in the way that they do, the monarchy shouldn't be too surprised if people start turning against them. Thanks very much for your time.